From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. On tonight's episode, auditing the city of St. Louis with Andy Polacek, exposing our spreadsheets with Nancy Hite, and the Right Mind Studio Band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
Oh, boy, I got to tell you what I did this morning. Ask me what I did this morning.
Now, just for transparency,
Yeah.
we're recording on a Wednesday today.
Oh, I know.
And it is so hot. The
It
heat
is
advisory
hot.
is still on through Thursdays. It was so hot last night when I walked around the Muni. There was a rainbow in the sky, and it wasn't even raining. It was just humid droplets. So I bet you went on a run this morning.
No, well, I did.
And almost died.
No, this is more of a nature story.
Oh.
I did go on a run, and I'm surprised I'm not deed. I mean, because it was just so humid. I started seeing those white spots, and that's when I'm usually kissing the pavement. That didn't happen today, though. So I made it back. Now, get this little story. I'm kind of a nature guy. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not. But anyway, we have like this area of our back. It's like a patio area where all these little birds, I don't know if they're sparrows or they could be bluebirds or eagles or pelicans. I don't know what they are, but they're tiny little birds, and they all sit around this picnic table area. Is like a patio table, and they sit, I guess they're eating out there. So what I did, I went out after my run, and I was still kind of hallucinating, and I got behind one. I said, "Hello, little bird, it's me, Todd. Can I touch you?" And one of them, right before they could fly away, let me grab it. And I grabbed the little bird, and I bit its head off. You know why? Because Ozzy Osbourne is dead.
He gave you permission. He said, "Yeah, that's cool. It's cool if you grab me."
Oh, and the neighbors were saying, "Did you just see that? Todd just bit that bird's head off." And I started to go, "I'm Black Sabbath," and then I started totally freaking out. And that's what I did. No, I did. I hallucinated that because I told you I went on a run, and it was so humid and hot that I started to see in the white spots. And the next thing you know, I was pretending in my mind that I was eating a little birdie head.
You know, the Prince of Darkness as you blacked out. My goodness.
I did black out. Here's the funny thing. Are there certain people like Ozzy Osbourne that you thought had been dead for years, and then you just hear, "Hey, he just died"? And I'm thinking, I thought he died like 40 years ago. I mean, the guy was dead while he was alive. I mean, and so is this a big surprise to anybody? I don't know why we're even talking about this, other than the fact that I imagine that I bit a little bird's head off, which is really now quite disgusting. Now that I'm kind of hydrated and have my mind back. But it was Ozzy Osbourne a really big guy? Because people are making a big deal about it.
It's amazing how hard of a life he lived, and he still made it to 76.
Yeah.
I remember watching the Dirt movie, which was about Motley Crue's life on Netflix.
Right, yeah.
And in that fictionalized version, which is based on a true biography, he was snorting ants like it was cocaine at the pool. He was on the ground just doing lines of ants.
Yeah.
And that's got to be bad for the nostrils, the whole lung system in general. They could be growing inside him.
They could be.
He's going to become bugs and ants in just a few months.
He's going to be. And worms. I mean, because the worms eat you. My grandfather had a story about that. Yeah, but I don't think I should tell it on the air. Hey, speaking of...
Do you know...
What?
No, who's probably really depressed about Ozzy Osbourne's death today?
Wait a minute.
Ozzy Smith. St. Louis Cardinals shortstop, legendary, the Wizard of Darkness, they called him.
And he has the same name.
Let me tell you, on Thursday, the Busch Stadium is going to have Ozzy Smith night at the ballpark. He's going to come out, and they're going to give away bobbleheads. And when he walks in the field, all these people are just going to start biting the heads off their bobbleheads.
I bet you're right.
In honor of Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy. You think, here's the thing. I think there's a correlation, because if you remember, my friend, do you remember when Busch Stadium had some type of Margaritaville night? It was like a Jimmy Buffett night. Wasn't it that same day that Jimmy Buffett all of a sudden became dead, became D-E-A-D, deed? Wasn't that the case? And so you're saying that now Busch Stadium is having an Ozzy Smith bobblehead promotion, and Ozzy Osbourne just so happens to be deed now.
If I was going, I don't know, to have a bobblehead night of myself coming up at Busch Stadium, I would be terrified. I would be so scared. And guess who's got one coming up on September 1st? Nikki Glazer.
Oh, Nikki Glazer.
She's too young to die. She's only in her mid to late early 30s.
I think you're right, but she does. You know what? Have you seen her in concert? Because I brought my grandmother, who's not with us anymore. I mean, really, this is part of my hallucination. And Nikki Glazer has quite the potty mouth. I mean, she's very popular, and she's from St. Louis, so we always got to get behind her. But I watched her her special or something that she had on HBO or Netflix or PBS. I don't know what it was, and she has a potty mouth, and she's very funny. I mean, I think she's funny and she's cute, and she was very good on that Tom Brady roast or whatever. But when in live, I mean, she has it's not something you bring grandma or the children to.
You know, another coincidence is that the Cardinals had Jordan Walker bobblehead night. It was
Walker.
Star Wars night, and Jordan Walker, one of the hot new players,
Hot.
He was going to be the bobblehead like Jordan Skywalker. But he was just relegated down to the minor leagues the night before, and he wasn't even able to go to his own bobblehead night. So even if Nikki doesn't die, I think she's going to be sit down to the minor leagues of comedians. She's going to be doing the funny bone again.
With me. And
I know.
I mean, that's just it. Maybe that's better than being deed. Hey, speaking of porn stories, you're going to some place like a lake that's full of porn. Is that what you say? That's why we're taping today on a Wednesday in a totally different room, in a corporate hell room, by the way. This is giving me an itchy feeling. It reminds me of my 30 seconds that I spent in the corporate world before, jumping out a window. But anyway, besides that, you are escaping this joint to get away to some lake that you said is full of pornography. Now, first of all, why is it full of pornography? And two, why would you, my angelic, choir boy best friend, why would you be going?
Well, I'm going to Lake of the Ozarks, and as you know, the acronym for Lake of the Ozarks is LOTO, which stands for LOTO.
What?
Which means I'm getting lucky down at the lake. Going down to the Lotto Lake, Lake of the Ozarks.
Well, you're getting lucky, but you have your beautiful girlfriend. Now
we're all getting lucky. We're getting freaky.
You're all getting freaky at the Lake of the Ozarks. But what is this about? Now you were all giddy.
Boy.
You see, when I came in here on the wrong day, which by the way really freaked some people out. You would have thought like a contagious disease had walked in.
Wednesday, Todd.
My God, what's he doing here today? They all
You're
run.
not coming back tomorrow, are you?
I know that's what they do. They all freak out. But you made this big deal about how excited you are because all these places that the Lotto, Lake of the Ozarks, which I don't really like going to, I guess for the reason you like going there is because they have all these dirty places with dirty names. Mm-hmm. What are these dirty names and what are these places you're going to?
Well, there's Big Dicks halfway in.
Big
Look it up.
Dicks.
I'm not going to censor this, but that is the name of a real establishment.
Yes.
There's the Glory Hole.
The Glory Hole?
Bare Bottom Resort.
Get out.
Dock Knockers.
Dock Knockers.
And the one that I've been in the most because it was named after your mom, The Cave.
The Cave.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. And this is where you're taking your lovely Erica for what? For some type of sex retreat?
Oh, yeah, going down to Party Cove. I don't want to know what's at the bottom of that lake. Probably a lot of fish pee.
I bet there's more than fish pee. I bet there's a lot of people pee in there, by the way. And that reminds me, I told you about these little videos that my wife is making me do, right? I mean, again, for those that missed it, you are lucky. I mean, there are these influencers that do this stuff that my wife just thinks, and I'm not supposed to bring her up, but heck, I already did, so I'll keep going, that she just thinks they're so neat. I mean, it does, and they're all stupid. I mean, these people that are basically nobodies on Instagram Reels or Facebook or stuff, spouting this stuff, and whether it's like what kind of crap you can get at the dollar store or how to solve cancer by drinking orange juice or something. Just crazy stuff. And she says to me, you ought to start doing these. And I thought, look, people hate me enough. They don't want any more of Todd. But anyway, so I started just to appease her because everything she asked me to do, I go along with. And so, yeah. And so I started doing a few of these. And of course, I'm being savagely ripped apart on social media. And I asked you, and you had the best answer, I think, anybody has said yet to date. I asked you, as my best friend, I said, as my best friend, do you think I should actually be doing these? And your blunt answer was, I don't watch them.
I don't watch them.
I don't watch it. And so maybe that's just it. Maybe I will be really successful at these if just nobody watches them. I think you put my mind at ease. So thank you.
Now, something I've thought about is these things are really awkward to do when you're staring down the barrel of that cell phone.
I don't do I do Zoom.
staring down the barrel of your webcam.
Yeah.
And it's just you talking into that lens.
Right.
And I think it would be easier if you had something to look at that was more human. Like if you put a two-way mirror in front of it, you could look at yourself.
Oh.
And that would probably help. Or you could put up a picture of me.
That's a
and then
great
my
idea.
mouth is open, and then that's where the camera is, because you're always looking at my mouth. And then you would feel more at ease, and you would be like talking to a friend.
I like that idea.
Documentaries do this all the time.
Do they
where
really?
They'll put the interviewer inside of a screen in front of the lens,
right.
And then the interview subject is looking straight into the eyes
Yeah.
of the interviewer, but they're in separate rooms.
Get
I know
out.
Pee-wee's documentary was
Right.
shot like that.
Anyway, yeah, so you're thinking I should have a picture of you across from me when I'm doing these videos.
It would make you funnier. Not that I watch the videos.
And then you just said you don't watch them, so why even do them? Yeah, that's totally crazy. Well, I tell you what, we're sitting here in a conference room, which is really quite strange to me because it does bring back my memories of corporate hell.
We're king of the castle, sitting at the head of the table, king of the castle.
This is very kind of strange because I'm used to this tiny little confines, the computer equipment, all this stuff surrounding us. What we're basically, I'm having PTSD. Do they have that for like the corporate world? Because I told you, I did. I worked in the corporate world for about 30 seconds before I realized this is just not going to work for Todd, and I escaped. But this is as close to the corporate world as I've gotten to in a long time. Now, do I have that nervous tick on my face, or do you notice me doing anything like I'm about to like go postal?
I think what you need is some corporate improv.
Corporate improv.
My girl is at a corporate prison.
Yeah.
And they brought in some improv teachers to help loosen everybody up.
Get out of here.
And you and I, as naturally funny people who have taken improv classes.
Oh, yeah.
It is awful. She was trying to tell me how they did it, and it was the least funny thing I'd ever heard before.
Like what?
Well, something I learned is you're not supposed to go A to B with your next idea. Don't say the obvious thing. Maybe try to go A to C.
Yeah.
But in corporate improv, it's literally A to B.
Right.
So they'll give you a suggestion saying, you're going on vacation to Hawaii, and the person opens up the scene. I'm on vacation in Hawaii. Look at me.
Oh,
and then they get an
wow.
A+ for their improv skills.
That was a little like feminine gayish.
Oh,
the way
it
you
was
did that.
awful having her explain the rules of improv to me.
That's
And then I
terrible.
said, could you make it funnier? And then she started to close off and didn't want to talk to me anymore and almost ended our walk early as we were
that is
going
just
around
a
town.
horrible, horrible story. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, we will have fun. Mitch is here, too. He's all smiley and giddy because he's on some type of medication. But in the meantime, I am Todd Showalter along my bestest buddy, Joey V., who's going to Pornland. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, we get the dirt on St. Louis's politicians with Andy Polacek. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who is so afraid of getting Lyme disease that he tries his hardest to stay away from politics. Todd Showalter.
And we're back on Todd Showalter along my bestest buddy, Joey V. And now on the line is our St. Louis insider, Andy Polacek. What's going on, my friend, and what's cooking?
Not much, man. How are you? I just
Not
got back
much.
from Brazil and am back getting into work. Well, I shouldn't say not much. That's not a true statement. You just normally say that without thinking, or people do. I just got back from Brazil and I'm getting caught up on work. And, I think you wanted to talk to me about what's going on in the city of St. Louis. I don't have much good to talk about, unfortunately, although I do have some updates in terms of things going on with our audit we were attempting or still attempting.
I want to ask you something. Okay, let's just move back here a little bit, if you don't mind, because it seems like even this is not your first trip to Brazil. Now, do you often go to Brazil? Because I often go to the grocery store, and that's like a kind of a big deal for me. But you seem to always be going to Brazil. I mean, what's this all about? Do tell, if you don't mind.
I am engaged to a woman in Brazil for one thing, and then I'm an investor in Brazil. I own an apartment, and I'm working on figuring out how to build buildings in Brazil.
I did not know that. That's amazing. And you're engaged to a woman in Brazil? Well, congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this allows me to bring up something even more important. I don't know if you know this, but I am a licensed minister out of the Universal Life Church out of Modesto, California. That I became a reverend in 5 minutes. I could actually marry you guys. What do you think? Will you fly me down to Brazil?
I'm afraid I can't. I'm a traditional Catholic, so we'll be getting married in the Catholic Church.
Oh, I can do that. No, this Universal Life Church lets you pick your title. You can be a rabbi, the Pope.
Nice.
You can be anything.
You get a tax discount too.
I think. Well, you get a clergy card to put in your window if you go to the hospitals to visit, so you can be a clergyman. But I think when you register what name you want to be, I think Pope is one of them. So you could say I could be the Pope, and you could say that you were married by the Pope. So what do you say?
Yeah,
Fly me down?
It lines up with everything else I deal with in the government and corporate America these days. So we might as well run with it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put that. Okay, I'm going to pencil that in, actually in pen, and I'm going to plan on it. So I'm going to become a Pope so I can do your wedding. I am so excited. I'll even bring like complimentary communion wafers. What do you say? And on the house, my own thing. Back to the city of St. Louis now. What is what little, you say you've got some info on the audit, but for those that haven't been tuning in, give everybody a quick recap of what this audit is.
Sure. So we basically a group of us that would, I guess, best called either nonpartisan, bipartisan, or don't care about parties anymore, just want to see their government work right. Got together and, we talked to the state auditor about, there's a law statute that says if you collect a certain percentage of signatures of the last registered vote from registered voters, that you would trigger an audit. Mm-hmm. So we did that. We met those requirements and then some. And then what happened was, they effectively figured technicalities to throw the signatures out. Secretary of State got involved, told the Board of Elections, who actually said that, if you can get basically affidavits from these people we threw signatures out from, we will accept those. And in addition to that, was supportive of us in everything we were trying to do. Once we actually had the evidence to support it, he withdrew his support and said he wasn't interested in helping us anymore. So tried to talk to the local media about it, and unfortunately, the mainstream media. And what's happened with that, unfortunately, is we've gotten blocked from that because some of the people in charge are friends with the people who don't want the audit. So now what's going to happen is a lawsuit's going to be filed.
Okay.
So there's a good group of attorneys who I can't mention the name of, but it's supposed to happen in August. And we're going to be suing the Board of Elections and other people that need to be sued to handle the situation and do their job. You
have a lot of things that, we've got the dirt on these people. We know they did wrong. We know this is, they're in violation, whatever. But then, so it's out there, but then nothing happens. It's like, well, are they going to go to jail? Are we going to follow through on this thing? And so, and nothing. Nothing happens yet. So I sounds to me from what you're saying that a lot of that is what's going on in the city level. There's a lot of things that have been,
100%.
So they've been identified, but nobody's doing anything.
Well, there's two things I'll say that will be hopeful outside of what I think is obviously a bunch of problems and unacceptable problems. One is there are a plethora of rumors that the federal agents are investigating City Hall, and those rumors are more than rumors from my own personal knowledge. I can't cite sources, but I can tell you that I know that they're happening. The other thing is there's been a lot of talk of, I don't believe this person has been announced yet because I would have heard about it, but if I'm wrong, correct me. But they are going to at some point appoint the Eastern District of Missouri Attorney General. I don't think Missouri or St. Louis can be fixed without federal intervention. Yeah. It's too dirty. And it gets back to what I said earlier. The judges and the attorneys are corrupt. A lot of them, the majority of them.
I was just going to bring that up. What's it going to take to actually, I don't know if that's going to make it better or worse, hopefully better, but what would that take to actually get the feds involved?
Political will, courage. People, and the other thing, Todd, is, how many people care and how many people realize how bad it is? Because I can tell you when I didn't own my own business, when I didn't have to deal with the government, when I didn't have to deal with the problems physically, when I just got a paycheck, went home every day, I didn't have to actually take ownership of things and deal with the accountability of things not working in the system. Mm-hmm. I didn't care. And I think that's unfortunately a lot of people. There's a lot of people with a lot of money who don't care because the problems don't directly affect them. Yeah. Now, I think the problems are going to start affecting them because when they see these utility bills start to rise because of that terrible law we passed, no one supports for the utility bills to keep, and then when they start to see the things governments are doing with rising their taxes, because we're hearing more and more stories. I'm in the construction industry, the restoration industry. Right. We're hearing stories out in Kirkwood how the inspectors now are coming in people's houses and finding them for ice machines and looking in their drawers and stuff. And this is getting abusive. And why do they want this money so bad? What are they doing? They don't do a good job.
You mean as far as why are they coming in people's homes? You mean, are they trying to do something like a home, put on a deck or something like that and they need a permit?
No, occupancy permits. But the thing is, we're hearing stories about how these inspectors are coming in and they're just doing their jobs, what they're being told to do by the politicians, right? The bureaucrats who run these cities. But they're coming in and they're finding new ways to charge people, new things to do. And sometimes when you dig in, this is what I tell someone, don't trust what the government tells you. Look at the law yourself. You know what I mean? Because we're finding that they're telling them they have to do things. You look at the code, it doesn't match the code at all. They're just thinking no one will follow up. No one will actually check on what they claim.
Right.
You know, and I've seen this all over Missouri since I got involved in politics. There's just a lot of either abuse, laziness, or corruption. Pick your choice, like a combination of all, you know. And I guess my whole point is the city of St. Louis is bad, but don't think these problems don't exist outside the city of St. Louis.
Oh, no. And that's why I've brought that up before on several occasions. You've got all these things that we're being taxed for. You've got the assessments, as you mentioned, that all of a sudden, oh, my gosh, I mean, I didn't realize my house was worth this much. I mean, all of a sudden, overnight, you know, you're in a mansion price value home. I mean, it's ridiculous that they can tax you on. You've got all these things. The sales tax in the area I live in is astronomical. So you've got all this revenue coming in, but yet, you know, there's certain just basic needs that aren't being provided to the residents. Where the heck do you think all this money is going? I think I know what you're going to say, but what do you think? Where's all this cash going that they're bringing in?
They're stealing it. Whether it's through some whether it's their buddy's construction firm or their buddy the home builder or their, you know what I mean, or somehow they're you know, just like the mafia, they're figuring out a way to slice some of the money off. You know, the more audits they do, the more they're going to find these things. And you know, but then it gets into the issue of who's protecting who, because we've seen Democrats protect Republicans and Republicans protect Democrats.
Yeah, it's like a uniparty.
It's them versus us.
Sure, yeah, sure.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm going to ask you, Andy. Say that, you know, you got beyond all the corruption, all these people and everything, and somehow you became. If you were mayor, and that's you, what would be what would you do like on day one?
The first thing I would do is assess every piece of property in the city of St. Louis for its situation, who owns it, what's going on, all the properties that have not been properly dealt with. I would find an answer to the extent of finding someone that would take over that property, fix it up, and have ownership of that property. And I would make sure if they didn't do that, they would be fined and we'd take the property back from them quickly. No more schemes, no more games. Property is one of the largest issues. Second thing I would do was I would empower someone like Tom Holman. Did I get the name right? The guy's in charge.
Right, sure.
Yeah. I would put someone tough like him who also is smart enough not to walk into a trap, because they set traps around here all the time to call someone a racist or something else, right? I would put him in charge of the police, and I would say, enforce every code, every single one, from jaywalking to everything. I don't care anymore. You can come after me, the mayor, if I violate it. Every single code. Don't care about your skin color. Don't care about your race. Don't care about your sexuality. Enforce the law. Done.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you know, seriously, I mean, now that I planted that seed, you know, we plant these seeds in the Right Mind Show. Joey, don't you agree? Because we've got people now that are running for office. We got Dave Robertson that, I mean, now.
Yeah. He's running for every position.
Dave switches it weekly. I think he's running for president, and also he's like alderman out in Oregon or something like that. I'm not sure. But, I mean, he's doing everything. But we planted that seed. But now that we've done it, you know, when you decide you're going to run for mayor, you not only have our support, but, you know, you also.
Well, we need Trump to fix elections, and then maybe I'll think about that, because right now I wouldn't run because I don't trust the elections. I'll leave it at that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. The seed has been planted. It's like nothing you can do now. It's like
no, I agree with you on that.
Okay.
I got more seeds for you too in the future.
Okay, my friend. If you're not
bitter ones, maybe.
Well, if you're not in Brazil, I'd like to hear about him. And hey, you know, congratulations on being engaged.
Thank
the
you.
Wedding coming up, and again, as soon as I get off the line with you, I'm going to go become a pope on the Universal Life Church out of Modesto, California, and I'll be there. I just got to get I got to get a Pope mobile. I got to get a Pope mobile.
You know what? You'll be better than the last one for sure. And I say that as a traditional Catholic.
Okay. Well, I'm feeling it. I can't wait get to my Pope crown and everything. Oh, hey, thanks so much for joining us, Andy. I can't wait till the next time. Okay. All right.
All right. Take care, man. Take care.
Right. Bye-bye.
My faith in him is the size of a mustard seed, but who knows?
You never know. And that's just it. We plant these seeds, my friend, and that's what we do.
And speaking of Andy Polacek, he's got a Brazilian wife, and maybe we could get a Brazilian too. You know, we did just go and get a picture taken next door. There's this eyebrow threading place.
Eyebrow threading.
And under that it said facials. Okay.
Facial. Okay. Now, here's the thing about
And then it
facials.
also said waxing.
Waxing.
We'll call them up at the end of the show and see what they offer, because I would like to be smooth for my lady down at Lake of the Ozarks.
Smooth where?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Hey, you got any cash on you? You got some money on you? Money, honey? boy toy. We got Nancy Hite coming on. She's like a financial expert, and she wants to talk about something about preparing for an emergency. Preparing for an emergency, which I do literally every minute of the day, because every minute of my day could go wrong any second, so I'm always preparing for an emergency. Any emergencies you're preparing for?
One time I was at the roller rink, true story, 100%.
Okay.
And it spit out baseball cards from this pinball machine. If you got a good score, it actually dispersed baseball cards.
Really?
It was crazy. And so I went over to the change machine,
right?
And I just shoved the baseball card into the change machine to see what would happen. And 4 quarters came out.
Get out of here.
And it was awesome.
Wow.
And then for some reason that broke the machine after that. And then the owner, the proprietor of this roller rink, came out and he turned off all the music and he started yelling at us over the microphone. He said, "Which one of you is shoving baseball cards into my change maker?"
He said it like that?
And nobody spoke up, and then we just went back to skating in circles.
That is a great story. I hope that you have that recorded so we can tell it again.
Yeah, actually it's recorded and it just aired on this episode of The Right Mind Show.
That's fantastic. Just like we like it, fresh and hot. Hey, and when we come back, I hope we have something fresh and hot for everybody in the financial world, because it's Nancy Hite planning for an emergency in the meantime. I am Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, we squirrel away our nuts with financial expert Nancy Hite. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who thought accountants were pretty boring until he heard one of them say the words fiduciary duty, Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is financial expert Nancy Hite. And boy, Nancy, you're fired up. You got a lot to share with us. How are you, and what do you got going?
Well, let me say this. In southern Florida, it's 90 degrees, so what can I say? We're in the middle of summer and rainy season, but I'm inside, so it's safe.
Okay, you're safe. Well, we got about the same here, but it's not safe because we're in St. Louis. But in the financial situation, and you say that you've got some hot topics to talk about that aren't brought up enough, and I like that. So what exactly in the financial world do we have to be aware of here?
Well, let me say this. Imagine if we could reduce the deficit without raising taxes just by giving Americans a choice they should have had all along.
And what is that?
Right now, it's like we're taxing the harvest but letting the seeds rot in storage.
Oh, wow. That's a good way of putting it. Okay. Well, what do you think we should be doing?
Well, Washington, I think, has been kicking the can. We're saying just tax the can now before it turns into a barrel. Yeah. Using strategic statistics without over-explaining, Americans hold over $39 trillion in retirement accounts. Even 10% of a Roth shift could bring in hundreds of billions of dollars without raising taxes. It would be voluntary, predictable, and no new taxes. So we would bring money into the Treasury to reduce the deficit. People would have the opportunity to use a Roth account inside retirement plans if Congress passed a law that said all retirement plans have to include a Roth option. Not a requirement. You have your choice. You can either use the regular or you can use the Roth. And whichever way works for you in that particular year, that's fine. But as I have worked with clients, and I work with a lot of clients getting ready for retirement, one of the things that always creates a problem for them is, let's say they're in the 12% tax bracket while they're working because they have deductions on their mortgage and other things. By the time they retire, their mortgage is paid off, they have no deductions, and everything is income taxable. And when they got to the point where they had to take the required minimum distributions, the taxes moved them into the 20% tax bracket. Because they never had the option to use the Roth, pay the taxes at a lower tax bracket, and take the money out tax-free.
Right, yeah, because that's not taxable. I mean, once you've already paid the tax on it, you put it in.
Well, now you got it. Even the growth is not taxable.
Okay, so I mean, and is that something? Is that a bill now? Is that something? Because I don't know. Is that something that's actually being discussed?
There are a couple of plans that have included them, but it's not something that's required. And even the providers who do the benefit plans would actually benefit because they get paid for the number of accounts that they're handling. So if they handle both a retirement account that was a Roth and a retirement account that was a regular, they'd make more money and have more income coming in for them. So I don't think they would mind it, and I think they could actually market it when they're going to set up their retirement plans. We're not telling people how to save. We're letting them choose when to pay the taxes. We're giving them the freedom. Right now, they don't have that choice. Pay the taxes on the seeds, not on the harvest.
Right.
And I've made this so important to me as an advisor that I've even trademarked that phrase.
I have on my notes about planning for an emergency. Now, do you think when you say planning for an emergency, I mean, are you talking about like an emergency purchase you have to make or something like that? What is this all about? And do you have some type of strategy for doing that?
Well, let me say this. I think planning for an emergency is an important issue. We have all kinds of things in our life that happen that we're not expecting to happen. It could be somebody in the family gets ill and you've got to travel. You own a pet and you've got to take them all of a sudden to the pet doctor, and that becomes expensive. Or a piece of equipment in the kitchen fails and you got to buy a new one. So that becomes an expense. These are the things that you have to plan for. And it isn't a set amount of money, but the problem many people have with an emergency fund once they get it set up is they start using it for other issues.
Yeah,
you need to kind of put it aside and say, okay, if supposing I get sick and can't go to work for 2 weeks, how am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to buy the food? What about my kids? I need to make sure I have enough money if I have young kids so that they're not affected by this.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of issues, the things that we're not expecting. You get 2 flat tires in your car and you need $1,000 to put them on.
Right.
Okay. I mean, where's it coming from?
And then you do credit cards, and then the next thing you know, you get the interest rate.
It's this kind of stuff and it helps to establish you as a financially savvy person.
Yeah, right.
That you and that's really, if you're starting off, whether you're 25 or 18 or 36, having an emergency fund gives you peace of mind and takes the stress out of financial issues.
Right.
Because most of us, when we're young, we don't have really any savings. Everything we make, we spend.
Well, when you're young,
look, I did that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of us have to move back home because we have high interest rates. It's hard to buy a house. Rents are going through the roof, no matter what city you're in. So, I mean, everything's becoming expensive. You move back to your parents, they won't say no, but they're not happy that you're there.
No, they're certainly not. Yeah, I tell you what. Yeah, well, I don't have that problem
but I mean,
yet.
this happens frequently. I deal with a lot of kids that are the kids of the parents that I'm also working with. So, I try to give them the advice that I didn't have when I was a kid and say, look, I understand you never make enough money. You got to go out Friday night with the gang and it's going to cost you money at the bar or for food. And I know at the end of the week, there's hardly anything left. I know that.
Yeah, I bet.
I've been there and done it.
Yeah, well, speaking of you've been there and done it, what is the Nancy Hite story? What is, I mean, so how did you get into how did you become the financial expert that you are? Have you always been in Florida or what's your story?
No, I got into this field because I started out as a teacher in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I got elected to tenure. And I said, what does that mean? And they said, well, that means that we trust you and we're never going to have to come back and review you again.
Oh.
I said, that doesn't make sense. How am I going to get better if you're not giving me new ideas and things that I should be adjusting? And they said, well, we don't do that once you're in tenure. And I got so disgusted with that whole concept that I said, I'm not happy with this. And so I left teaching and went back to school and became a certified financial planner, and which means you're already supposed to be a fiduciary, but I wasn't quite sure I knew enough. So I went and got a separate credential as a fiduciary and then got all other kinds of credentials so that I could really help people with some knowledge. And I got licensed in several states. I could be licensed in all of them, but I just don't want to pay the fees, to be honest about it.
Sure.
But because every state has a fee. But I mean, they would be happy to have me, I'm sure. But not for the amount of money that it cost me to do it. But if I had a client from a state that I wasn't licensed in, I'd get licensed there. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah. But I'm licensed in a half a dozen states now. That's enough. But that's how I got started in it, and I just love it. I love the idea of talking with people and finding out what it is they're trying to accomplish so that they don't run out of money before they run out of time.
Well, have you ever dealt with...
There are ways, and there's never one way to do it. That's why I wanted to get the credentials in different areas so that I have enough knowledge to help people in many different ways.
Yeah.
So whatever works for you. You know, if some people like spaghetti and meatballs, other people only like pizza. Some people don't like that food at all. So whatever it is, it's fine with me. I don't really care as long as I'm bringing you some kind of financial stability.
Have you ever had anybody that you just said, nah, I really can't work with you? I mean, you're pretty helpless. I mean, do you think there's anybody, can you pretty much
No,
work? Really?
There isn't anybody. Everybody, whether whatever it is, there's always something that we can do to give them peace of mind so they don't have sleepless nights. Matter of fact, my clients can call me 24/7.
Do they really?
I don't want them not to sleep at night.
Wow.
If they have a financial issue and they're worried about it, whether it be a dental problem or whatever, and they don't have the money, or they don't think they have the money, whatever, we make it work.
So now, Nancy, let me make sure I have this straight now. So, because this is big for me. Now that I have your number, anytime at night, because I have a hard time sleeping every night. So you're saying anything that is bothering me, I can just give you a call?
That's correct.
Oh, you are my new. Well, no, Joey's my best friend here, but you're my new second best. So I can call you. This is worth it. If I were to call my financial planner in the middle of the night, you know where he'd tell me to go, don't you?
Well, you probably wouldn't get through.
You
may go to voicemail, but I'll get and if you're calling me, I'll get back to you. If it's 2 a.m, I'm up early anyway because I'm up by 3:30, so it doesn't make any difference. I go to the gym in the morning before I start work. But I do that more for mental than physical at this point.
Well, Nancy, you've been a joy to have on. I'd like to have you back. I mean, we'll talk more about it when I call you in the middle of the night. But will you come back and talk to us again sometime?
Yeah. Say that again?
Say, will you come back and talk with us again sometime?
Absolutely. And Todd, take a look at your account and see if you have a Roth.
I do have a Roth, actually. I do have a Roth, and I can actually, I don't want to brag, but I could actually retire today and live until Thursday.
Well, that's the problem. We'd like you to live till the weekend.
Yeah, my wife thinks otherwise. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, just know she doesn't want you home 24/7.
No, she
doesn't. So you
doesn't.
keep doing what you're doing. You're doing fine.
I know. Well, I have you as a friend now. I can't wait till the next time. And again, we'll talk more at 2 a.m., okay?
Okay, great. Have a great day and stay safe.
You too, Nancy. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. All right.
Bye-bye.
You know, I'm a big fan of Roth IRAs.
Yeah, well, I have one. I actually
All of
do.
us, you and I, we go by the term Roth dogs.
Right, I know we do.
We love Roth dogging. Once we put it in, we don't take it out. And people say, leave it in till about 59 and a half. I'm not hopping off that Roth dog horse till at least 69 and a half.
No.
And when I put it in, it's like $7,000 every year.
Yeah, and when you put it in, you put it in.
And you can put in $8,000 if you're really old.
Yeah.
Since I'm so young and beautiful, it's only
you're a boy toy.
$7,000.
You're a boy toy. I mean, until this show, I didn't realize that you're basically a Lake of the Ozarks boy toy, and you're going down there and you're going to go to all the dirty spots and do a lot of dirty things, and you're going to get a wax shave before you do it. And this is just really TMI, as they say, too much information. But I mean, I hope you do have a good time. How long are you going to be gone?
I'm going to be gone for at least 6 days, and I think that to really make my body glisten in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
We should find out if this place next door in Westport Plaza, Perfect Brows, does actually do the waxing and the shaving and all the things that I'm going to need.
What exactly do they do? Because I preface this. I mean, we went by there, we took our picture, and were asked to leave. Sort of, in my mind, they did. But I mean, what do you have to have done to this bod of yours?
Well, let's see what they offer. You got your phone ready? You ready to call them?
Yeah. Should we call them right now?
Yeah, let's call them right now. And we'll say that we're doing a radio show, so
Please
it's not.
hold while I try to connect you.
Oh, it sounds like a Google thing. They have a Google number. What is? Wow.
Perfect Browser Show, I can help you.
Yeah, how you doing? This is Todd Showalter, the Right Mind Show, News Talk STL. We're right up the street from you. We actually took our picture in front of your place, and we are wondering, what exactly do you guys do?
I'm sorry, I'm working here. You can call to our manager early morning. You can talk to them.
Well,
It's a skincare place, but you can call around 7:30, 8 a.m., and our manager is here.
But
So
you do wax. You do waxing though.
But do you do waxing?
Yes.
Okay.
We do body waxing, facial, those things. Yeah.
Is it painful though? Because that's what we're considering doing. This.
I'm sorry, I'm very busy with a customer. You can call and ask all those questions early morning from manager. Have a good one.
All right, thank you.
Oh wow. Well, at least they're polite.
I think that you have to have that attitude when you are ripping that wax paper off.
I think.
Excuse me, I am very busy right now.
I think we interrupted right in the middle of somebody getting waxed. Now,
Someone had their legs up in the air.
I think somebody was getting maybe their cooter waxed or something like that, and we called.
Cooter?
We called with our questions.
We're just some good old boys.
Good old boys. Hey, you gonna take some hair off here down here? And I think for some reason we got her flummoxed, and she just had to get off the phone really quick, didn't she?
And I wouldn't let that put me off. I like a lady waxer, first of all. The fact that they have a lady there that's going to take care of me. And then that aggression, that flair, that Latin flair. I don't know what country she's from, but that Latin flair will get me excited.
I don't think it was sounded more like, can you say... You can't say Oriental. You say Asian. Because I get in trouble.
You think Asian? I was not picturing Asian.
I was thinking, I think I was thinking.
Picturing Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I'd be the Hunchback in that situation.
I pictured like a small Asian woman, and she was kind of round, and she said, "I'm going to rip this." She talks in a German accent too. Okay, she only talks Asian to like when she's on the phone, and then she rips that thing off of you, that body hair or whatever they do. What am I going to? And she rips it off.
Hopefully you get to keep it and put it in a little Ziploc, and you show the hair to your lady later, and you're like, this is how smooth I am.
Why she was a little fiery thing. I'm looking forward to calling Nancy in the middle of the night. Yeah, I am going to do that now that I have her number. Is there anything, you've got her number too. Is there anything you think I should ask her in the middle of the night?
How much should my waxing budget be, Nancy? Because I'm spending thousands to see it. I'm going every day. Yeah. I don't want the hair to grow back because it hurts.
I just talked to a fiery little thing over at the waxing place.
Why would she pick up the phone?
I have no idea. I mean,
I'm so angry at this device making this noise. No matter who was on the other line.
The phone, it's a phone. Yeah, I didn't know what's going on.
Whoever was calling was going to get it. She was ready to give it.
I think somebody got their cooter.
Well, I guess we have a sponsor now. Perfect Brows in Westport Plaza next to the Rawlings. They have big balls over at Rawlings. And Perfect Brows right next door. When you see that big golden ball, you know you're at Perfect Brows.
And the photo for this today's, our shoot is right in front of their place. And so when you see this photo and you want to be like verbally abused, this is the place to go.
That worked out better than I could have ever imagined. Thank you. You put your caller ID on her phone. I knew something like this could happen, and that's why I had you call.
Well, that's what I'm here for. But that's what best buddies do, don't they? Yeah, sure.
Brow buddies. I think we should go in together, have an Indian leg wrestling type position, and get waxed at the same time.
We're Siamese twins.
Yeah.
Do we get a discount? I had a good time today. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, Jerky Boys are back, baby.
The Jerky Boys. Well, I hope you have a great time in Bourneville. I know I'll be back here in Bourneville sweating. Anything else you want to add before we go off into the sunset, my friend?
I will be sending you pictures from all of these dive bars that I go to. I will send you a picture of the Glory Hole, just so you know I'm not making this up.
I cannot wait. I'm gonna blow it up, and I'm gonna put it on my wall.
And thank you for coming in a day early to record with me. This means the world. I love it.
It's not so much a problem for me. I'm sorry that I had to shell shock everybody in the station because I really was taken aback at how shocked they were, and not just of shocked. They seem really kind of petrified and worried. Like, what is he doing here right now? Do they prepare for me to come? Is it like a day thing? Like, oh God, this is when Todd's coming. We have to like take our meds. Is it like one of those type of things? Because they really seem pretty stressed.
Peek behind the blouse. It is Wednesday, so it's hump day. How could they not have any fun with Todd on hump day? Todd is the epitome of hump day.
Well, I try to be at least. Well, okay.
Well, so is Mike. Mike. He has fun on hump day, too.
Well,
Mike Ferguson, love you.
Hey, well, you know what I always say, don't you?
What do you say?
If you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Until next time, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my very bestest buddy in the whole world, Joey B. Mitch in the background doing his Mitch thing. This has been The Right Mind Show. Till next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. right here on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.